Hola. Hi, Erica.
Hola,
How are you, darling?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm a little frustrated, but we're going to be okay.
But that's okay. We will get through it, you know? Hey, we will take a couple of deep breaths, ground ourselves,
Yes.
and understand
Listen.
that everything works out as it's intended to, right?
Yes. And that's why I'm having you on today, Erica, because that's the type of
Yes.
vibes I need right now.
Yes. Yes. Let me tell you, I have experienced enough to understand no matter what comes your way, you will get through it. Nothing, trouble doesn't, as they say, trouble don't last always. Trouble don't last always. Even when there are little inconveniences, you just understand that it's just something temporary. And ultimately, you're going to get to your goal, which is, hey, now we're communicating with each other clearly. And
Yeah,
now, hey, we'll figure it out. If you need
that's
to,
true.
we can figure it out tomorrow. We can
I
experiment.
know. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we'll experiment, work it out tomorrow.
Can you
Yeah.
people see why I have Erica on with us tonight?
I'm
She's just that
sorry.
wonderful. She's just that wonderful. Once again,
Yeah.
people, let me introduce you to the wonderful, the effervescent,
Oh, thank
the
you.
just good vibeness that is Erica.
Thank you. Thank you. And I am absolutely excited to be here because I understand challenges. I understand the need to push through. I understand obstacles. But at the end of the day, once you set your mind to achieving something, you cannot allow anything to disturb your peace of mind or prevent you from achieving your ultimate goal. And that's really what it's about.
I
Everything
love
else is
that.
temporary.
I'm feeling that.
Hmm.
I needed to hear that. This is, if you can't tell already, this is more like therapy, not an interview tonight. I've been going through it.
Yes, we would. Hey, we all have moments where we go through it, right?
Going through
And
it.
we just need to be reminded that it's okay. You know,
Yes.
a bad
Yeah.
minute, a bad hour, a bad day isn't a bad life.
Think that's a. When's your ebook dropping?
Right.
When's
I
your
will, I will definitely let you know.
ebook
Yes,
dropping? I
I will
need
start working
that.
on that as soon as possible.
Ooh,
Yes.
I will have you back on.
Yes, I
I
will
need you
gladly come.
to have you
Yes,
back on.
I'm telling you.
So, see, I know everyone's amen in the comments right now. I
Mm-hmm.
tell you, I only bring real beautiful people onto this platform,
Oh,
and with us is Erica. For the two
yes.
people who are still holding strong on YouTube, I appreciate you, but you're going to need to go on to Instagram to see this video tonight. I will be posting this on Instagram,
Mhm.
but the live action for you to be involved in the conversation, hop over to my
Yeah,
Instagram channel, the Kaizen Investor, so you can join the conversation.
most definitely.
For everyone who is joining us this evening, this is Erica. Erica, can you tell the people who you are and
Most
what you
definitely.
do? What's your
Yes,
Instagram
sure.
platform about? Mm-hmm.
So my Instagram platform, it's about so I'm plant-based, right? So
Mm-hmm.
plant-based, so pretty much anything related to health and financial wellness, those are my happy places. Because I also understand that yes, you can be healthy, but if your finances are messed up, you're not always happy. And if your finances are messed up, if you are too driven on building wealth and building your finances, sometimes you tend to neglect your health. So you have
Yeah.
to have a healthy balance of both of them. So what I really try to do with my clients is just encourage them to have a strong foundation of health and financial wellness.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was even possible to have both.
It is. It is. You have to be extremely intentional. You have to be
Mm.
extremely intentional, but it is in fact possible.
Oh, I like that. I like that
Hmm.
immensely.
No,
How did
no,
you?
no worries. She said, hanging head in shame. No, don't
What?
worry. Yeah, I think this was closing with Carmen. Yeah, we all go through it. We all go through it
Yeah.
because when you're grinding and you're working hard, sometimes you tend to neglect your self-care. You forget about, oh, you know what? I am really stressed. You end up working so hard. You don't even
Yeah.
realize you're stressed until you just collapse and pass out or, have a breakdown. And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I should have been taking care of myself along the way. Like your finances are just as important as your health.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Mm-hmm.
really that's what I'm extremely passionate about and what I like to help people to achieve.
That's beautiful. And it's,
Mhm.
that's also timely as well because
Mhm.
social media portrays this idea of grind culture, which is needed, right? I mean,
Of course.
I perpetuate it to myself, always grinding, always pushing. But my angle personally, I can only speak for myself, is that
Sure.
I know that if I don't push myself, I lean back. You know, some people are natural go-getters. That is not who I am. If I can just sit on a lazy boy, that's where you will find me.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so I constantly have to push myself. So the content that I do push out is more for myself than for the general public. So it is that let's go, let's push, let's go, let's push. And you also see that perpetuated throughout other media channels.
Most definitely.
That's why that's why I appreciate your media channel, your platform, because it's so sound and reasonable. I appreciate that greatly.
And to me, because people will say things like, you know, you don't need to sleep. You can sleep when you die. But the reality is you could die sooner if you don't sleep.
Facts.
So I understand it. I get it. But what I do, I make my health as much as a priority as building wealth, right? So just like you set your financial goals, you may say, oh, well, I want to earn, we'll say $250,000 this year. You could make a priority that, okay, every day as you're working towards your goals, you have a set number of calls depending on the industry that you're in. If you set a goal to make 20 calls a day, okay, well, schedule 5 minutes of meditation. That's just 5 minutes. You can find 5 minutes just to sit. And sometimes people struggle with meditating because they're often thinking, but you can say a mantra. It could be anything.
For me, it's prayer. I just pray.
Yes, prayer, meditation. But you know, the interesting thing is they say prayer is when you talk to God. Meditation is when you listen. So you have to make time to listen as much as you're talking, you know? So what I do, and I'm very goal oriented. I am driven. I'm ambitious. What I've learned, and this is probably more so from my own personal experience, in 2011, I almost died, you know, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, maybe I was going a little bit too hard because I wasn't paying attention to the signals that my body, it was giving me that I needed to pause and ask myself, okay, what's going on? Because at the time I was dealing with iron deficiency anemia, right? You know, you have women who chew ice, you know, I don't know if there are any on the call now, you know, they're like, oh yeah, I'm anemic. Oh yeah, it's no big deal. But then what I learned is that it could actually be fatal if it's not addressed. It's one of those things that creep up on you slowly. So it may not be iron deficiency anemia for someone. It could be if you're constantly on the grind, you're eating a lot of fast food, you're eating a lot of food on the road. So you're not nourishing your body. Instead, you're eating a lot of filler foods. And filler foods are kind of, now I love fries, so I'm not knocking French fries or anything. But if you're eating a lot of fried foods and you're not eating the fruits and vegetables that you need to nourish your body, you may find yourself nutritionally deficient and you may be overweight, but you're lacking the nutrients that your body needs. So it's about finding that balance. Like, yeah, it's okay to be a grinder, it's okay to be a hustler, but make sure you're taking care of the only home that you live in. Like people want these big houses, but the only place that your soul lives is in your body. So if you don't take care of your true home,
head in shame.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We're all growing. We're all learning together, right? So if you're not taking care of the place that you truly live, which is your body, that's a concern. For example, there are people, now if you drive a Mercedes, you drive, you know, a BMW, you know, you have to put premium gasoline in your vehicle.
Yes.
Now, would you dare put some regular unleaded in your car?
No.
So why do you do that to your body? Why do we not treat our body as well as we treat our vehicles? And look, my she's laughing because she knows we talk about this too. You have to take care of your body. So if you're putting premium gasoline in a vehicle, that could very easily, you know, you may get another car in 5 years, but you can't get a new body. I mean, I know technology is advancing.
Yeah, but no, it's not good. Yeah. Hey, Mike. Hey, Chris. Hey, y'all.
You know, we have to take care of ourselves. We have to take care of ourselves. I'm really big on self-care.
Okay. I love all of this. You can wrap this up in a self-care hashtag.
Yes.
But, you know, I have to challenge you a little bit.
Sure.
In this busy, hectic, grind heavy, for the culture.
For the culture.
We
What
do
a
a lot
culture.
for the culture.
What a culture.
We're breaking generational curses.
Yes.
It's a lot, Erica. It's a lot.
It is.
How do I remember to bring kale into my daily routine?
And it may not be kale, right? So
yeah.
I'm not saying, hey, you have a complete overhaul of how you operate today. I'm not suggesting that. What I'm saying is, let's say, for example, tomorrow, if you tend to drink a lot of sodas, you know what? Okay. Try to have an extra glass of. Try to see. Look at you drinking your water. You're still right?
Oh, my skin to glow like yours.
Like our body is made up of, I believe it's like around 80% water, right? And there are some people, they have wrinkles because they're dehydrated.
Yeah.
You know, your kidneys, people have kidney failure because they're not flushing their system enough. So you make small adjustments. I'm not suggesting that you go out and you quit your job and you just eat bananas and oranges and drink water all day. No, while you're hustling, drink your water. You can eat a banana. You can take an orange with you. You can take an apple so that you have healthy snacks.
Okay.
It's okay.
Baby step it.
Baby step. I am all for baby steps. This is a judgment-free zone, okay? I'm all for baby steps, just a little bit at a time.
Baby steps, okay.
Yeah. Even when you go to restaurants, right? You go out and you're eating, you could look for a healthier option.
I'm just thinking of the fact that, everyone here is in the entrepreneurial real estate space, wholesaling. When I'm driving for dollars, I'm always driving through a drive-through. It's not good.
Yeah, but there are healthy drive-through options, right? Like I know Chick-fil-A, for example, they have their little kale salad.
Grits. You don't have to give up your shrimp and grits.
You don't have to give up your shrimp and grits. No. Not at all. Not at all. Just after you eat your shrimp and grits, hey, maybe you kind of have a juice, a fresh juice, a freshly squeezed juice. Maybe you drink water that day. It's all about balance and moderation. It's all about balance and moderation.
Now,
but if you're
go
ahead.
No,
I was going to say, if you're out driving for dollars, then it does require some planning. Right? Like, I know it's a little bit old school to pack like a lunch. Like, nobody's like,
that's not old school at all.
Okay, perfect.
To me, it's not.
Right. I mean, some people may feel like, I don't want to pack a lunch. Like, I'll just drive and pick up some stuff. And it actually may be cheaper because I'm also about saving money and being, mindful of how you're spending your money. So if you were to go to Aldi, is a great place to shop. Lidl, they have fruits and veggies for the cheap. You can get apples, you can put oranges, bananas, whatever fruit you like. You can dump it in your bag, put some water in there, pack some pretzels or something, some snacks, and drive for dollars. But then you're still nourishing your body while you're doing it.
Okay. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Now, of course, you come to us in this complete glowing package of just glowing goddess, vegan goodness. But where did this all start, though? How did one find her awakening? You kind of alluded to it, but where did that all start?
It has been a journey. I will be completely honest with you. I tried to go vegan about 10 years ago. Failed miserably. Yeah. Failed miserably because I didn't plan well. And Chick-fil-A messed me up because I was going to Chick-fil-A to get fries. Yeah. And one day I said, ooh, let me get some chicken nuggets. Let me get a couple chicken nuggets. And then, it messed me up. Then I had to start all over again.
Chick-fil-A. That's my weakness, so.
It was a weakness. So I said, okay, you know what? We're not doing Chick-fil-A anymore. We're just going to stay away until we're stronger. So now I'm stronger. Yes. Yes, the chicken nuggets. Yes, they sabotage my vegan lifestyle until I said, all right, I'm stronger now. And now there are more options. There are a lot of plant-based restaurants popping up, a lot of soul food plant-based restaurants popping up too. But for me, it was a gradual process. And primarily it was for health reasons, because I realized that, okay, my family has a history of diabetes and just obesity. And I said, all right, if I want something different, what steps do I need to take today to ensure 20 years down the line, I don't have to worry about some of the things that my family, they're currently worrying about. And
Yeah.
that's how I move. Even when I work out, I think about, I'm working on my 80-year-old body.
Oh, I like that.
That's my thought. Not
Oh.
summertime fine, not hot girl summer ready. I am thinking about 80 years from now, will I have the mobility that I want to have, or will I be hunched over on a cane? How will I move? So that's pretty much the focus that I have. I don't know if you've heard of, I think her name is Arnett Larkins or Ernestine Shepherd.
Ernestine Shepherd. Oh, put some respect. I mean, she's here in Maryland too. Ernestine Shepherd, yeah.
I didn't know she was in Maryland.
Yeah, she was in Maryland.
Okay. Ernestine looks amazing.
Yes, she does. Goals. I wish I had a photo to post up here of Ernestine. Oh. Oh, I had to post one.
And I met her probably 6 years ago, and I was like embarrassed to take a picture next to her because she was so, strong, and she was cut up. I said, Erica, if you don't get yourself in the gym, this is horrible. So it was, I said, all right, what do I need to do? Okay, just start, just go. Yeah. And the thing is, you don't have to go 5 days a week. You just set a goal. I'm going to go to the gym 1 day this week. You just start with 1 day. And you don't have to be in there for an hour. You just, you know what? I'm going 30 minutes. And it's about creating the habit. There's this really good book called Atomic Habits that I read.
I'm reading it now and I love it. Right? Oh, it's so good.
Everything.
Oh, it's so good.
Everything. And what I love about him, he talks about you making a decision to say, so for example, if you know,
do it,
if you're saying that, okay, I want to be healthy, you're not saying, oh, I'm trying to go to the gym, or I'm trying to work out more, or I'm trying to eat healthy. You say, I am a healthy person. So being someone who's healthy, your eating habits reflect that. Oh, I am a fit person. So being someone who is fit, you intentionally make a habit of going to the gym.
Yes.
To justify that statement. And I love the fact of how he says just increasing by, I believe it's 1% every day for 365 days. By the end, as you get closer to that 365 days, it's like this incline, how you have this dramatic improvement in your life. So it's just start. Even if you started at home and you said, all right, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to work out for just 5 minutes every day. And it may not seem like a lot, but it really adds up. And the connection for me, even to building financially, I remember there was an older woman. This is probably when I was younger. I think I may have been maybe 20. And I was at the post office. This older woman walked up to me. She said, baby, I don't care what you do, but you save something. I don't care if it's $5 a month, you save something. And at the time, I thought, $5, that's not any money. Like, why would I just save $5? But I started saving $5 and I was able to save 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, 300 because I developed a habit of doing it. And it made all the difference. It's just those small changes leads to big results.
Yeah. It's personal compound interest. Personal compound interest. It is.
We can do it. Just baby steps.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I know. Go over to, I'm sorry, I'm talking to the one YouTube person. Okay. Hi, sweetheart. We're actually over on Instagram. Hop over on my Instagram, okay, honey bunch? I love that.
Yeah.
That book has been a game changer. It's been a game changer. But I'm going to segue a little bit.
Sure.
Even though, because I want to get, I still want to kind of eat my Chick-fil-A fries, I'm not going to lie.
That's okay. I do too, from time to time. Listen, no judgment.
But here is the other reason why I brought you on tonight.
Sure.
Which is, I love the way you articulate the power of having the right type of mindset. And for those who have no idea how we met, it was beautiful. It was something of a movie.
Everything.
Your energy. It was like fireworks.
Like hearts. Love you.
Hearts. We met at Leisure.
Yes, Earn Your
Rashad
Leisure.
and Troy. Who is the James Clear, honey? I wrote it in the
Mm-hmm.
chat. James Clear. That's the author of Atomic Habits. I wrote it in the chat, honey, by James Clear. Shout out to Rashad and Troy, Earn Your Leisure. Because of them, they make me want to get a ticket to Atlanta. I don't know.
Like, I know. I thought about it too.
Are you at Valencia Millionaire's mama? She's thinking about it too. I'm like, oh my God.
See?
The FOMO is real. I don't know.
Why not?
That room is, there was something about that room, man.
Yeah, that room was, it was so inspiring to see so many people in one place committed to improving their finances and being open to sharing the information. Yeah.
That was good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's how we met.
Yes, it is.
We met there. And the coolest thing about Erica, of course, there's a lot of cool things about Erica that exist beyond this time. But what I found really intriguing was the project you did for yourself. Can you tell the people the project and the list you made and how that list has affected you? What did you do?
Yes. Okay. So I created a list. It was called my fear list. So everything that I was afraid to do that I felt like could push me towards my goals, I wrote all of them down and I decided to tackle each and every one of them. So last year, I believe I had about 7 things on the list. And I tell you, it was nerve-wracking a little bit to actually make the list. And then I crossed out fear and I put to-do list because I was determined to push through. Because once I noticed, as I started crossing things off the list, I felt myself becoming more confident and stronger as a result of it. So one of the things was for me to live in a different state. I'd never done that before. I've always lived in North Carolina, born and raised, and I decided that I was going to relocate. And after relocating, this is where I met Gia, and I've met all of these just amazing people. And had I never created that list, I would have never had that experience. And in addition to creating that list, of course, I also have a vision board because vision boards help to give you focus, help you to see the images. And one of the things was like to connect with like-minded people. So I always encourage people, if you know that there are some things that you're nervous or you're afraid to do, make a list of those things and begin to tackle them one by one. And it's really great if you can get through the list in 1 year. If you can't get through the list in 1 year, like that's okay, no pressure. But for me, it was very important for me to get through that entire list. And it really changed my life in a major way. And the person I am today, I had no concept that she even lived inside of me.
Oh, your ebook's gonna be fire. Oh, put it on pre-order.
I got you. Yes. Because
my lighting. Carry on.
Yes. So as you overcome your fears, you get to uncover the part of you that is hidden and trapped because of your inability to push through the discomfort, to push through the fear, to push through the doubt, to push through the limitations that you've placed on yourself. Like oftentimes we think that there's something outside of us that's keeping us small. There's something outside of us that's limiting us. But in fact, it's us. It's our own thoughts. It's our own beliefs that we've created, whether it's that we're not good enough or whether it's we can't do this or we may doubt ourselves. But once you decide that, you know what, I don't care how uncomfortable I feel addressing this particular fear. I don't care how whatever doubtful thoughts come up, I am going to keep going until, because oftentimes, even in working out, we work out, maybe you work out for a month, you don't see any results. You work out for 2 months, you don't see any results. Maybe when you're working, whether it's wholesaling, you're making these phone calls, you're not seeing results. You're trying to save money, but then things come up. You must decide and commit to stick to it until. So how long do you work out until you see results? How long do you work at a thing? You work out until you see the fruits of your labor, because oftentimes it's like we're so close to it, but we can't see it. But as you keep going, you begin to see like a glimmer of hope. Oftentimes it's not something that happens in an instant. When I think about my life today, because I grew up in low income housing. I grew up in an environment where people didn't have the experiences that I'm having today. And I distinctly remember it's almost like breadcrumbs, right? It's almost like these little wins that you have along the way. And then one day you look around and you realize that you've arrived. Now, granted, there are other peaks that you may want to achieve, other things that you want to accomplish, but the things that you set out to achieve, the place that you want it to be, you have arrived. Often there's a quote that says, I remember the days that I prayed for the things that I'm experiencing today.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that. Yeah.
Like, oftentimes we dismiss it. We dismiss how far we've come. We dismiss how much we've accomplished because we're always setting goals. I'm a goal-oriented person. And I assure you that I'm always, as soon as I get something off the list, I'm adding something else. But what I've been extremely intentional about doing, when I cross something off the list, I celebrate. It doesn't have to be some big, lavish celebration, but I make sure that I pause and I'm grateful for where I am today, because I remember where I was a year ago, 5 years ago. And if you're constantly growing, it's easy for you to just get caught up in the pace of, okay, boom, I've gotten this done. Okay, I need to move on to the next. I'm not saying that you slow down your grind. I'm not saying that you stop your hustle, but you need it's important for me to encourage people to feel good about the journey, to feel good along the journey, because oftentimes you're looking at this big goal, like, oh my gosh, I really want to achieve this thing and I'm not there yet. And you can't see how far you've come. Like, you can turn around and you can see, wow, I have accomplished so much, and it's okay to celebrate.
There you go. Bedroom.
And my daughter is an absolute gift to me, because she will tell me, Mom, it's okay for you to pause. It's okay for you to celebrate. It's okay for you to do the things that you enjoy doing, because it's easy to get lost in the hustle. It's easy.
Oh, that's a good question. Virtuous said, how do you learn your purpose?
How do you learn your purpose? Yeah, that's a great question. So I think about the things that you would do for free, the things that you are most passionate about, the things that you have found yourself doing or being drawn to your entire life. And often, if you just explore that a little bit, you have to dive into it, because initially it may not come to you. Like, I have been passionate about health and finances for a long time, but I didn't think it was worth anything because it's something that I enjoy doing. And often that's our gift. That's our gift to other people. That's something that has been given to you that you take for granted because you're not fighting for it. It's not something that you have to struggle to learn or to experience. So it's not appreciated. And I've been there. I experience it too. Things that come easy to you, it's something that someone else has to struggle to learn how to do. Like, even what you're doing, how you're consistent, having your lives every Sunday, how you're connecting with people. When you and I met, like, your energy and how you were just so welcoming and you're so helpful, people struggle to just have conversations with people. So that comes naturally to you. So it's easy to think, oh, it's no big deal. Everybody talks to everybody. Like,
that's exactly
no. People actually
what I think.
No, people actually have to attend classes and pay someone to coach them to speak to people. They have to be coached on how to connect with people. But that's something that comes naturally for you, and it may be a completely different gift for someone else. So just pay attention to those things that come easy to you that people may even comment on. Like, I would ask the people in your circle, like, what do you think I'm good at? What do you see in me? You know, and often you will be able to get feedback from the people who are closest to you, where they see it. It's plain for them to see. They look at you and they're like, wow, I wish I had that. I wish I was able to do what you do. And you're like, oh, this is nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Indeed.
I didn't know this was going to be a free therapy session.
Yes. Listen. Hey, we are all in this together. We're all working. We're all striving. We all have goals we're working towards. But sometimes we have to be reminded, hey, it's okay. It's okay to sometimes be frustrated. It's okay to sometimes have a bad day or have a bad minute. Oftentimes, it's like we have a bad minute or a bad hour and we milk it all day long.
Yes. Oh, hi, Rick. That's my friend, Rick. Hey, Rick. Oh, hey, Kaida. I didn't see you in here. How you doing, Kaida?
Oh, she says great stuff, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you.
What
you guys don't know was the backstory of this, which was I was telling Erica.
Sure.
I was just like, I really don't feel like doing this live tonight. It's just like, we can scratch this. It's a wrap.
Yeah, no live today.
Right?
No live.
Can't do it. Cancel.
Right. And see, no.
And it's so easy to do that to ourselves. That's what I'm recognizing. Once again, I can only speak for myself when I say this. Because we show up for everybody else. At least I do. I show up for my mama, for my sister, for my daddy. I'm moving my cousin tomorrow. Like everybody. I'm early with coffee. Showing up. We show up at work. Of course, there is a monetary implication with that, but we still show up.
Yes.
My problem is showing up for myself. That is.
Yeah.
So I cancel on myself. I don't. All the little things that I would like to do for personal development for myself in the past, I would just brush it aside. You know, if someone else, if you, Erica, said that, hey, I want to start an IG centered around health and wellness, I'm like, go girl, do it. What you need, I'm on camera, got you. Like,
yes,
do it. I'm there. I am the best cheerleader you can ever have. Okay, I am clutch in people's lives.
Okay,
like, I am. I can flex on saying that. You want me as your friend,
right? Yeah, ditto.
But I'm not clutch in my life. Like, I'm not. Who cheers me on? You know, I'm not. Right. You know, I'm thankful for all the beautiful friends and family I have in my life. But sometimes I write harder for them than they do for me. That's no shade. It's just.
It's facts.
You notice some imbalances, and you recognize, okay, I can't be angry at them. It's. I've had a lot of self-reflection. As you can see. Good.
And awareness is important. Awareness. You need that.
Yeah.
I can relate. I did the exact same thing. Like last year.
Thank you, Mike. I know you're rooting. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh,
That's got love for Mike. Yeah.
Oh, yes. She's like, I do the same thing. I show up for everyone but myself. Yes. And it's so interesting. And oftentimes we are the people that are considered the strong ones, right? And people assume
Please
that
keep talking. Sorry.
Yeah. People assume that we don't need the support. Even I know there are friends, when they have their businesses, they've launched their businesses. I'm there for the business. I'm promoting their business. I'm promoting what they're doing. I'm telling everybody. I'm volunteering. I'm there. I am.
Yes.
I treat their business as if it's my own.
Yes. Me too. Me too.
What I said to myself, fourth quarter of 2019, and one of the things on my fear list, because I realized it was actually an underlying fear, a fear of being seen, a fear of really going in completely on my own personal business, because it's easy for us to show up for others because it's not directly tied to us. So what I realized is that it was there was some fear. There was some fear there that I didn't realize that, okay, if I'm putting myself out there totally and completely, a couple of things. Will I be viewed as selfish? Will I be, will I be, will people think that I don't care about them because I'm going to have to step back from investing in what they're doing? And fourth quarter, I said, you know what? I'm taking a step back. I'm going to prioritize what I'm doing. I'm going to prioritize my health. I'm going to prioritize my well-being. And I had to step back. People were like, oh, I didn't see you at this. Oh, because I was everywhere all the time supporting people. And because of that time that I set aside to focus on myself and to sharpen my saw, because I think there's an Abraham Lincoln quote, if you have 6 hours to chop down a tree, I think he said spend 4 of it sharpening the axe.
Yeah, sharpening the axe, yep.
We have to do that. And yes, there are some people that were disappointed that I wasn't at every event and I wasn't able to be there for them all the time. And I realized that they really weren't supporting me the way that I was supporting them. And I had to accept that, because the thing is, nobody asked me to show up for them consistently the way that I did.
That's a word right there.
Nobody asked us, right?
No. That's just my own personal definition of support. That's how I support you. And I expect the same thing, but I don't articulate it.
Right.
That coincides with this McLeod investment group. She mentioned the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, put yourself first, because, and then that can always be the default. Like, they could very easily say, well, I didn't ask you to do that.
I know.
And it's like,
he says that to me all the time. And I'm just like, fool, I got you. And he was like, thank you. He always says, thank you, but darling, I didn't ask for all that.
Yeah.
I'm just like, but I'm ready to die. Like,
I'm ready to die. And I'm willing to die as I ride for you and let my dreams die, because your dreams are more important than mine.
Yes.
Like, what? Who does that? Why are we doing that? I remember I was once saying, I said, you know what? I'm minding my business. I am minding my business. And if someone needs me, they can ask for my help. But, and you know what? And it's okay to say no. If you have a lot on your plate, you have a lot that you're managing, it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I have friends, people in my circle to help to remind me that, Erica, you don't have to be everything to everybody all the time. Yes.
That's real. Can you please repeat that one more time for me, please, Erica?
You do not have to be everything to everybody all the time. Give yourself the love that you so freely give to others.
That ebook's gonna be fire.
I got you. Yes. Give it to yourself. Because oftentimes we don't allow, and it's okay, yep, she said that's what God is for. And you know, I actually had a conversation with someone about this. I said, you are trying to play God in the life of someone else.
Yes.
Sometimes there is actually, I love the story of the butterfly, and when the caterpillar goes into the chrysalis and then it dissolves its body completely, and when it becomes the butterfly, it has to push against the chrysalis to get out. Now check this: if you cut open the chrysalis because you're like, oh my God, it's struggling, it needs my help, let me cut it open, it will never fly, because the pushing of the chrysalis helps to strengthen its wings so that it can fly. So sometimes you are depriving people of their struggle and their ability to figure things out on their own, and they're dying. And you are thinking, oh, I'm helping to save people, I'm saving people. But no, you are depriving them of their ability to strengthen their own their wings to be able to fly.
I'm speechless. That was just fire.
This serious.
That's real. Right? That's so real. Because I've been guilty of that. I've been guilty of that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been guilty of that.
Indeed, we do. But we all do it. especially when you have a heart to help people, when you have a passion to support people, when you have a passion to see the lives of people change. But what we have to remember, that we cannot deprive them of the experiences that they need to make them stronger. Just like you and I struggling to, we had the technical difficulties. Okay, that's a learning experience. Yeah. So now you're going to learn how, we'll figure it out together. Yeah. Right?
Exactly.
But that's how we learn. That's how we grow. But if everything is always given to us, we don't have a chance to strengthen our muscles. Even going back to working out. You work out. If you just go in and you work out, you don't feel any struggle, you won't make a difference.
Yeah.
You have to work out until you shred those muscles so that they can rebuild themselves stronger than before.
Yeah. With resistance comes change.
With resistance comes change. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're gonna have the book tour.
I know. Yes, book tour, ebook. We're going in. We're going in. Yes.
Yeah, the book launch. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that.
We need all. Yes.
I need this right now.
Yes.
I need this right now.
Yes.
Oh, McLeod said, "Okay, let them fly. I'm focusing on myself for now on. I only want to ask when I want to.
Thank you,
if I want to.
Yes.
Her heart speaks. Yes, that book is like,
thank you.
Wait, do you already have a book?
I do. I have a poetry book entitled "Her Heart Speaks." Yes.
Oh,
thank you. Yes, I do.
The poetry book, people.
Indeed. Yes.
Book.
Yes.
But okay.
Mm-hmm.
You touched on some sensitive nerves of mine that I needed to hear.
Yes.
Virtuous says this is timely. Me too. Who you telling?
Yes, listen. This is, we are here. We have to keep each other going.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what is it? Optimus Addict. I'm going to need to rewatch the replay this weekly. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah.
Mike is awesome.
Okay.
Mike is that's my cheerleader. Mike is Mike. Don't steal my cheerleader, Mike.
I
my
know that's right.
cheerleader.
She's like, listen, he is claimed.
I claim Mike. That's my dog, my West Coast buddy. But that was the whole thing. Either way, I will make sure this is on YouTube as well.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so we recognize that we have to be more for ourselves. Not more for ourselves, but to remember ourselves, because we don't put ourselves first. Especially as women, but men have these same challenges too.
Most
definitely. A lot of pressure is put on men. Yeah, to put yourself first.
Yes.
But how? Like, how does one begin? First of all, can you teach me a solid lesson? How do you say no?
No.
That sounds so.
Period. And sometimes, and people have to get used to it, because when people are used to you saying yes to them all the time, they may be a bit shocked when you say no. So ask me a question and I'll give you an example.
Some candy in my mouth. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So I'll just say, let me think of a time when somebody has asked me to do something. Because normally I would also always say yes. Oh, sure. But I realized that I would say no. I may say no directly, no. Or unfortunately, I don't have the capacity to do that right now.
Ooh, I like that line. I don't have the capacity to do that right now.
Yeah. Because some people, when it's just no, they may want to hear some, because sometimes it's different. I do hear people say no is a complete sentence, right? But for people who are used to you helping them or supporting them, you could simply say, no, I don't have the capacity to do that right now. If you know them intimately, you could say, no, I need to focus more on myself right now. And I just really have a lot going on. It just depends on how you feel, because some people aren't ready to just say no. Yeah. Sometimes that's hard for them. So the more you practice, I think the better you will become with just saying, no, I can't.
Like with that face, Erica, no.
No. Or you can say it like this. You can say no. No.
No, not happening. No.
I'm sorry. No. No, I can't.
Negative.
No, I can't. And you just practice. You know, you could start with when the people ask you for your information, you know, when you're at the Target, they're like, oh, can we sign you up from, can I get your email address? No, no, thank you. That's what I say. Like, no, you don't need my email address. You don't need my phone number. No, thank you. You can say no, thank you. No, thank you.
No, thank you. I'm going to start trying that. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Ooh, these comments. Oh, people. I love it. Everyone's mic says no. And not feeling the need to explain why is key. That's true.
That's true.
That's true. I just say no with no explanation. I don't owe anyone my time. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, indeed. And sometimes we practice to hear no and have to fight for what we need. And yes, indeed.
Yeah. Because once again, I could only speak for myself. I recognize that to build the life that I used to say that I want, and I recognize that I had to change that, so to build the life that I deserve.
Oh, yes.
That I know. You know, I do feel like, I'm knocking the table down. I do feel like there is an issue with entitlement within society. But when it comes to your life, you are entitled to greatness because you were made by greatness. I do believe that, right?
Yes.
So, but it's not going to be handed to you in a silver platter. You have to get to work. Hey, Lupi. Yeah, you have to get to work with it. So, once again, the reason why everyone, what you need to do is stop what you're doing now, hit the upper left-hand corner, and you're going to see Erica's profile. Hit follow. Just go hit follow. Go hit follow. Because it's because of her that this live is happening right now. Because I was about to cancel it. I was like, it's done. It's a wrap. Because for me, this is, for those who don't know, there's a lot of reasons why I do these lives. It's not because I want to do them, honestly. Again, I thank you again because, like I was saying earlier, I was about to cancel this live because it is easy for you. It's easy for us to cancel on ourselves. It's easy for us to bet on others than it is to bet on ourselves. And in 2020, I am betting on me.
Yes. Yes.
Sounds real sexy, right? Sounds really motivational.
Oh, of course.
But
but it's a fact.
It's some work. There is some real challenges that come with that because for me it is accountability. That means I have to show up for me.
Yes.
There's no one else that's going to get my behind up and get me on this live today. No, there's no one else that's going to do it. And then low key, I think nobody's going to notice.
Oh, we notice.
No one's going to notice.
We notice.
We notice.
I'm like, where is this? I don't see her on live. Wait a minute, what's going on? Yes.
It's true. So making sure that I am consistent is also a manifestation of self-love for myself. Self-love for myself. Does that make any sense? That's probably not grammatically correct, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I understand. Self-love, self-care, indeed.
Yeah, self-care. Because if I don't show up for myself, then I'm going to be, what's the word? Angry at others, angry at other friends.
Most definitely, because you begin to see them grow and you see them progress and you realize that, you know what, how far could I be? How far along could I be if I would have invested as much of my time into myself as I was investing in other people?
Yeah. Okay, can I tell you a little something? A little tea?
Yes, tell me.
I can't give you all the tea because I'm on the live. Hi, beautiful people.
Hello. Oh my God.
And this is something unique to ladies, but I'm sure guys, you probably experienced this in your own lives in somehow, some way. I recognize that I was putting too much effort in making some of my friends, especially my male friends, better at who they are, supporting them more in their businesses than myself. And then I recognized, I was like, I'm wasting my love on him. And it's not about romantic love. It's just about like, it's not romantic. It was just like, oh my goodness. Because I have a bad habit of seeing the greatness in others and not the greatness in myself. which is another reason why it's easier for me to write harder for other people than for
Sure.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
And you can waste your love on people, meaning your support.
Absolutely. You can waste your love, waste your time, waste your energy, waste your money. Yes. Hashtag single.
No, I don't mean that in a romantic way. No,
Listen,
I don't mean that in a romantic way.
There are multiple levels. So this is what I mean by that, right?
Yeah.
Because there are men and women who invest their energy into individuals who it's a one-sided relationship. It could be platonic or it could be romantic. So when you are invested, think about, because I know men and women, they go hard trying to find a companion or like that connection. If you invested that much energy into building whatever your brand, your business is, it would be amazing.
It would be amazing.
It would be absolutely amazing. And the same applies in business relationships. You meet people, as you shared, where you're just so excited about what they're doing. You're so excited. You're like, oh my God, I want to tell the world about what you're doing.
Yes.
But why are you not that excited about what you're doing? Why are you not screaming from the rooftops the projects that you're working on and how they can support and help you?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's 2020. Clear vision.
So I'm so over that, man. So over that. So all the things that I was suggesting to them, like, oh, you can do X, Y, Z, you can hook this up with Amazon, you can do X, Y, you can do 1, 2, 3, you can build your brand like this and all these things. And they'll go, yeah. And then sit back and just watch the game. I'm thinking, why am I wasting my energy? I'm over here thinking that they're the genius, but really I'm the genius here. Because it's not like, it's not like what they're doing is not important. What they're doing is important. Their businesses are great. They always have my support. They always have my love. But I give more love to myself now and more support to myself first than I do them. Because then I had to stop and recognize something that was a little sobering. And I asked myself, I said, Gia, are they writing for you? Are they writing for you?
And that reality check
are they reposting
real.
your Graham stuff? Are they shouting you out? Are they telling people about these lines? No, they're not.
It's not even on their radar.
No, because they're very self-absorbed. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, bye, Loopy. Bye, buddy. Thanks for stopping on by.
Good.
Yeah. They're not riding for me. So
No.
what in the world am I wasting my gas on them? My emotional gas. Like,
yes. Your life energy, your life force.
I can use that own energy to strengthen and build my business.
Most definitely.
And build beautiful alliances like this with you and my brother Mike here and other people who are here, who I know are here for me just as much as I'm here for them.
And they want to see you win as well.
I'm not alluding to those other gentlemen that don't want to see me win, but they at this point in time cannot give me the support. I shouldn't say they can't, but they have yet to demonstrate that their alliance to me and their loyalty to me is the same loyalty I have to them.
It's not a priority for them.
Exactly. And I can't even be mad. You know why? Because I never demanded it. And I'm guilty I never demanded it. And I don't,
And
I'm
they
not
weren't,
angry.
they
it
weren't
was just a learning lesson
of
for
your
me.
expectations.
Nope.
Because you never shared them. You kind of went into it thinking that, okay, well, if I do this for you, then you will support me in some way.
You assume that it's going to be reciprocated at the same level too, with the same intensity. That's my problem. I expect it with the same intensity and fervor.
You absolutely do. But the thing is, they never said that they were going to do that.
Nope.
Never. So you can't be upset. You just have to make a decision. Okay, well, I need to redirect my energy to making sure that the things that I'm working on, they're moving forward.
Yes.
Because I have to make myself a priority, because I've been making all of these other people a priority.
Everyone.
And I've been an afterthought. Like, no, we're not doing that in 2020.
And the gag is, for those lovely people, I was an afterthought to them too, because they're busy putting themselves first.
Yeah.
You see that?
So it's like, so who's thinking of who's putting you first if you don't?
No one.
Mm-hmm.
No one.
Yeah. We have to, and sometimes, but the beauty of it is it's important to have those experiences where you get to see it so that you know not to repeat it.
Yes.
So there's value in those experiences. My 2019, 75% of it was investing in what other people were doing. So much so, people thought that I was part owner of some businesses because how hard I was riding for other people. And my business, it was just I was like, okay, I'll get to it. I decided, as I said, fourth quarter, no, now it is my time to focus on what I'm doing, because I too, hey, you should do this. Hey, this is a good idea. Oh, do you need me to do this? Okay, I'll show up and do this.
No.
But think about the benefits of investing in ourselves.
Yeah.
And also finding the people who will support you and you support them. So there's there's a mutual energy exchange. Some people, they are just, they're takers, right? They're like, okay, someone told me about this, how some people, they just want to fill the stadium with people to cheer them on. So you don't really have any major significance beyond being someone that's in the arena who's supporting them and encouraging them as they work towards achieving their goals.
Oh my, you just described one of the people. Oh, Erica.
And when you leave, they'll just try to find somebody else to become a cheerleader.
Someone will fill the void like that.
No, it's
like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yes. Yeah. So you have to. I get it. I've been there. So you have to say, you know what? I'm leaving this space and I'm going to go and build for me. I'm going to go and collaborate and build collectively with other people who want to build together, where they're not looking for cheerleaders. They're not looking for people to just pour into them. Like, we're actually building a bigger structure together.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm. You know, where they're able to see you working, they're working on their project, and they look over and they're like, you all right? You good? So you need it? Hey, did you know that maybe you should use this tool instead because it'll help you build faster? And you're like, oh, no, I didn't know that. Okay. You know, and you take that advice and then you notice something about them. Hey, I remember I went to this class or this seminar and I learned about this particular thing to help you forward this. And they're like, oh, I didn't know that. But there's a mutual exchange because you're both invested in what the other person is doing.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Ooh, McLeod said they just want access to you. However, they have no intentions on being there for you. Let them go.
Yes.
Ooh,
Let it go. Let it
oh,
go.
oh, Lord.
Some frozen.
Yes. There are some like that. But I would like to think that for some that is the case. For others, it is the fact that I keep on repeating that I never set the expectations. Like you just mentioned, I made the mistake of assuming that the support I gave will be returned back to me at the same measure with the same fervor. That's my mistake.
No. And some people they don't possess the ability to do that for someone else. They're not even conscious.
You really feel that way, Erica? The people don't possess the ability?
I won't say the ability. They lack the consciousness to to even understand that's something to be expected of them. Because there's,
I do see that.
You know,
certain people are just so self-absorbed that they never know how to give before.
No. And
not that they don't want to. Yeah. Sorry, excuse me for interrupting.
And perhaps nobody has ever asked them to.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh yeah, you like doing this for me.
Oh my word.
This makes you feel good. Get out of my
life, Erica.
They're like, oh, this makes you feel good. Yes, continue. Continue. Yes, give me more. Support me more. Yes. Like, no.
Oh my word. Oh my word.
But
yeah.
Expectations and communication is so important. I believe communication is important in all relationships, business partnerships. Communication is key. When you communicate what you need, you're clear in the beginning. Like, hey, I understand that. I can see that you need some support here. I'm willing to support you in this area. Now, if I'm supporting you, I expect for it, that would be an opportune time for you to communicate your expectations. Another thing is, if you're going to do something, don't have any expectations. If you're going to do it, just do it. Just do it.
I feel like I need to scale back my giving.
100%.
I do.
You do.
And demand more.
Yes. Most definitely. And that's difficult for us because most women are nurturers. We're givers. We will, and it's easy for us. So it's like, we will say, okay, you know what? This isn't difficult for me. This is easy for me to support this person. It's easy for me to do this for this person. But what I think it's important for us to do is to say, am I where I want to be? Am I giving my business? Am I giving myself the amount of attention that I need to achieve the goals that I'm desiring to achieve?
Yeah.
And
right now the answer is no for me.
And so then you say, okay, I need to scale back a little bit, because there was something that Iyanla Vanzant said. I remember she said that you give from your overflow. So you have to make sure that your cup is filled and you give from your overflow. Because if you are giving from inside of your cup, you make the other person a thief. Because then you're angry. But if you are full, your business is operating successfully. You feel like, yes, I'm doing everything that I need to do to ensure that my needs and my desires are being taken care of. What you give to them is just extra. You know, you're like, oh yeah, here, you can have this, because it's from your overflow. But if you are giving them and your cup is empty, or your cup is half full and you're giving, it's going to hurt. And it's going to feel uncomfortable because you are not addressing your needs first. And you don't want to make the other person a thief, because they don't even know that you're making them a thief. They think that you're giving to them, you know?
And like you just said, I end up really resentful, and that has happened. Yes. I have been resentful a little bit. I have been. But then, as I said earlier, I had to recognize that, okay, no, Gia, you're boo-boo the fool. It's you. You can't be mad at them. It's you, because you didn't expect it. You made assumptions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't demand it.
Yeah.
I didn't demand it. So what do you expect to happen here?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because they don't know.
2020 is a new chapter.
2020 is a new chapter.
Is a new chapter, man.
Yes.
Hi, Brooklyn, baby. Yeah.
Yes. She said, you make them a thief, girl. You just spoke the truth. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And they don't know that you're making them a thief. They think that you're giving from overflow. They think that you're good.
Yeah.
Because you're giving to them.
So yeah.
Because who does that? Think about that for a minute and understand that I do it. So I'm not judging at all. But who in their right mind would give to someone else when they do not have for themselves? That's just like, let's say, for example, your mortgage is due, and you see that someone else is struggling to pay their mortgage. So you say, oh, you know what? Here, take my mortgage money.
No.
So you're going to be on the street?
I can't do it.
And they don't know. They don't know that you're giving them your last. They don't know that you're giving to them when you, from an empty cup. They don't know that you're scraping your cup to give to them and help them. They have no idea.
And so if you were to tell them that, they'll say, well, I didn't ask for all that.
I didn't ask you.
I didn't ask for that.
I didn't ask you. You did it. You made that decision.
Exactly.
You know,
oy.
You did it. So you have to listen to yourself, pay attention to your needs, be mindful of your needs, and operate accordingly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Expectations. Yes. She's setting expectations.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm always giving from an empty cup. Yeah. You and me too, Jess. You and me too.
Oh, yeah. So, yes, she said, I'm always getting, I am very big on self-care. I am a huge advocate of self-care because I have, most of my life, I have taken care of a lot of people. And to the point where I was almost out of here. I learned.
I'm happy you did. I'm happy you're sharing.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I want you to articulate and delve into that a little deeper, because when people, at least for myself, when we hear the word or the term self-care thrown around, I think of like rosé and bubbles. Like,
right.
That's my version of self-care. So, but the way you're using it to me implies more like, I would personally coin it as self-preservation, self-protection, self-defense. But that's self-defense.
Yes, right. Yeah, all of that. Yes.
See?
It's healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries. Because even when you were speaking about the expectations, having healthy boundaries where, and this is for friends, family, everyone, where you are protecting your time, you're protecting your resources, you're protecting your energy, and also recognizing what you need to feel full, to feel loved, to feel appreciated, to feel valued.
Oh my goodness, Erica.
Like, what
don't get me crying on this live. Oh my God.
Yes, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need to feel full? And the only people that will have a problem with your boundaries are people who are comfortable with crossing them. And you don't need those type of people in your circle anyway. The people who respect your boundaries, those are the people who, in my opinion, should be around you. Because there will be times where, yes, Gia can be super Gia, helping a million people. But there will be times when you know what, you're going through some things and you need to retreat to make sure that you fill your cup and you nurture yourself and you make sure that you're whole. Yeah. So to me, self-care, it could be rosé and bubbles if that's what you need to feel relaxed, to get your peace of mind. Or it could be something as simple as sitting on your couch in a blanket, watching television, eating popcorn. Yeah. You know, where you're just not talking to nobody, you're not communicating with anyone. So to me, it's whatever you need to feel fulfilled and satisfied. What in most important, and especially setting the healthy boundaries. Yeah. And journaling helps too. Just even, there's something called writing, like streams of consciousness, where if you were to have a journal and you wrote at the top, what I need, and you just start writing. Or what do I desire? And you just start writing the things that you desire. Just keep writing. Don't think about grammatical errors. Don't think about proper punctuation, none of that. And you just write everything down. Yes, Rhea said, you just write everything down that you need.
Hey, Drea. Hi, beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
You do. Self-care looks different. Like, I know I love a beautiful beach and some beautiful water. Some people like the mountains. Some people, but there are some times where I just want to wrap myself in a blanket and just take a nap. Put my phone on do not disturb. Yeah,
that's dangerous for me because I could spend a whole day doing that.
Well, moderation is key. Moderation is key.
When I'm depressed, that's what ends up happening for me. That's what ends up happening for me.
And something that a friend of mine, a really great friend of mine, shared with me. She said, it's important to have people also to be able to check on you. So for example, when you mentioned that when you feel depressed, you know, you're kind of in the bed all day. She mentioned something. She said, there have people who can recognize like those red flags and say, all right, you okay? You all right? If they notice that you're a bit unresponsive, or maybe you have been in bed all day, or you're not yourself, like people who can challenge you, say, hey, I just want to check, are you okay? You okay? When I spoke to you earlier, you just seemed to be a bit off. Is everything all right? And that they could help you to get out of that funk. Sometimes you have to move. If you're feeling depressed, you know, the thing is you can't have two thoughts at one time. So often if you are experiencing something where you're feeling down, it's like, what are you thinking about? What are you focused on? You know? What, and often they say you can't be grateful and depressed like at the same time. So when you're having those moments, just write in your journal as many things as you're grateful for as possible. I'm grateful for the ability to walk. I'm grateful for the ability I can see. I'm grateful for the ability to hear. And you just journal. It's just petty things, you know. I'm grateful for electricity.
Petty, trivial. Let me trivial. Yeah.
Yeah, like small things. Like some people view those things as being petty. I say get into those small details. I'm grateful for running water. I'm grateful for being able to live in my home, you know, to having a roof over my head. And I think volunteering, if you have time for that, I know sometimes we're all super busy and we just don't have the capacity, but if you do have time to do things where you volunteer to give back to those who are less fortunate, often that can help us as well to just reset and say, okay, maybe my problems aren't as bad as I think they are. I remember having a conversation with someone about if you were in a room full of people, and let's say there were people from all over the world, I mean, all over the country, and you threw your problems into the circle, there will be people fighting you to get your problems. They will snatch your problems up, and then you're like, wait a minute, whose problems are these? And it can be a lot worse than what we're going through. Now, that doesn't negate how you feel. You're still entitled to have your feelings of sadness, of frustration, of disappointment. You just don't live there. You know, you don't pull out your blanket and, you know, get your pillow and lay down and stay there forever. But you do acknowledge how you feel.
It's just a pit stop, not the final destination. Yeah. It's a pit stop.
Just a pit stop. It's okay. Yeah.
You helped me work through some things tonight. Everyone, this is just a public therapy session. That's what y'all didn't know. It's a public therapy session.
Listen.
Got a lot of issue working through right now.
Hey, you got it. You got it. Listen, we all have our moments.
Yeah, because here's the thing. At least I'm proud enough to recognize this about myself, right? I mentioned this on, I did like a practice live, it was a couple nights ago. And when I was talking, I was telling people that the blessing that I had in 2019 is I turned 35 last year in 2019. And I was so thankful, like, I was so thankful, Erica. But the one thing I recognize, you know, some people have like midlife crises. I had like a midlife awakening is what I heard. Because there was no crises. I'm blessed to say that I don't have any crises in my life. I'm thankful. So I have challenges, but not crises. You know? And the line of work that I do, it keeps me humble in recognizing what true problems are. And that my challenges are just challenges. They're not problems, and they definitely aren't crises. So the one thing I recognize is that I'm blessed to be able to have turned 35. Thankful for that. But I had to be honest with myself and recognize that, are you happy where you're at, Gia? Are you really happy with where you're at? And my gut punch answer was no. Because I know that I could have pushed harder. I could have grinded harder to be in a different space in my life where I'm not at yet. And it is not in terms of comparing myself to others. It's just knowing my best and knowing that I didn't play all out. For the past 35 years, I have not played all out.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I am at where I'm at now. It's not
Sure.
bad,
Sure.
but I know that I could have done better. I'm thankful that I had that awakening or realization because I'm still here.
Sure.
Like I can change.
Most definitely.
And so with that, I recognize that in order for me to change the next 35 years of my life, I can't do the same things I've been doing the past 35 years of my life. Because doing the same thing over and over again is what the definition of insanity, right?
Sure. Most definitely. Yeah.
I cannot expect different results if I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing for the past 35 years.
Yeah.
That's insanity.
Sure.
So something's got to change, Gia. Like that was...
Yeah.
Something's got to change, and it's got to change now.
But you know what you just did? You just said the past 35 years as if when you came out of your mother's womb, you could start flipping properties or something.
You're right.
I mean, you know, like sometimes we just really...
But it wasn't bad, though. The past 35 years have been fabulous, magical. Sure. If only you can see my personal IG page. Fabulous, darling.
Right.
But I no, she's lived. Oh, she's lived.
Right.
But I know that for all that I have accomplished in the past 35 years, I could have done more for myself and for my family. I'm not even talking monetarily. I'm just talking about personal accomplishments for myself.
Most definitely.
So with that knowledge, I recognize that, okay, so we're going to have to do some things different so we can push forward.
Yeah.
But with that requires growth. And growth, just like when you're growing, has growing pains. It's pushing back.
Yes, it does.
So I'm going through a lot of uncomfortable growing pain.
That's the good stuff. That's when you know you're moving. Yes, that's the good stuff.
You don't feel good right now.
I know it doesn't feel good, but you have to know that it's getting you closer and closer to your intended goal.
Yeah.
And you know, it's all about perspective. It's all about perspective. Because even when I think about, yes, I could be a lot further along in life. But you know what? It's better for me to realize it now than to be 65 realizing it. Or 75 realizing it. And actually, if you do the research, a lot of successful people, they had their awakenings closer to 40 or after 40, because then you stop caring what people have to say. You stop caring what people think about you. It takes time. And being in a position where you're saying, okay, you know what? I know I could have gone harder. So then what's the next thing that you do? You say, okay, let me take a look at my life and how can I move things around so that I can go harder, so that I can show up more for myself. Because now I know I want to be a different person.
Yeah. And may I also add to that? It's not only that I want it, I deserve it.
Yes.
That is my phrase. It's not like I want it. No. This ain't a wish list. I deserve this. I am entitled to this. I am entitled to being my best. I am entitled to living my best life. And on top of that, my family needs this. They deserve to see me at my best. They deserve that too. So it goes beyond myself.
Yeah.
But it starts with me.
I'm
feeling real grown right now. Oh, goodness gracious me. It's a lot of grown up stuff, Erica, that I don't want to deal with, but I have to.
Right. And it's an ongoing journey of growth. Right? Like growth is uncomfortable. This is why it's easy to be just complacent with what someone has in their life. But for those of us who are saying, I want more, I want to be more, you know, this is the other thing, because I do love the butterfly, right? People see the caterpillar, they see the chrysalis, and then they see the butterfly. Can you imagine how painful or the discomfort that caterpillar had to what that caterpillar felt when it dissolved completely? So we're talking about growing pains. Like, you have to shed, like, pretty much morph into a completely different person. Yeah. The butterfly looks nothing like the caterpillar.
Irrecognizable, yeah.
it's that in the chrysalis, I thought about that the other day. I said to dissolve completely the amount of energy that takes for you to go from who you were to who you're desiring to become. It's challenging, but the beauty of it is you see the examples, you see the other butterflies, so you know it's possible.
Yes.
You know you can do it.
Yes.
You know you have it in you. You just have to get through that period of discomfort, get through the period of being in that chrysalis, and then you're going to have to work to get out of it so that you can fly once you break through that chrysalis. And then the thought of the caterpillar, all of that, it'll be the past. You won't even think about it because you'll be too busy taking in the sights and the beauty of where you now are and what you're able to see. You'll say, you know what? It was worth it. Yeah, it was discomfort. It was uncomfortable. I cried myself to sleep some nights. I was frustrated. I was angry. I didn't want to do that live on Sunday. But
yep,
guess what?
I didn't. But Erica helped me through.
Yes. But you know what? You did it. You did it.
I did it, y'all.
You did it.
Stay consistent. Thank you.
That's it. Yes. It's the small wins. It's the small wins. Yes, Mike said, yes, you have to be willing. You have to be willing. You have to be willing. Like, what are you willing to do to get to where you want to be? What are you willing to do to become who you want to become?
Yeah.
Yes, you're willing to deal with this discomfort. You may not like it, but you'll deal with it.
And to keep it a buck, for me personally, it requires leaving some people behind.
Yes.
And that is another challenge that I have to work through.
Sure.
And I don't know if it's leaving them behind. I think I need to reframe it so that it won't be as hard. Because I remember Lisa Nichols mentioning something in regards to that. I know. Look, Mike's like, everybody can't go. I know.
Yes, Mike. No, they can't. They can't. Everybody can go.
Hey, Jamil. Yeah, everybody can't go. But she was basically alluding to, everybody can't go. But for some people, it's not goodbye forever. But it's goodbye for now.
Yes.
It's just goodbye for now. Because you have to let them go so you can push forward, get through the door, and say, yo, I found the exit. Let's go.
Look, come on, let's go.
Come on, let's go.
Let's go.
Now, they want to go with you, that's okay, but some won't. Some of them you gotta let go.
Some of them, have you read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho?
No.
Okay, so let me
everyone in the world has told me to read that book. Okay.
Oh my gosh, it's great. So there's a part. So I will share a part of the story with you. So there's a crystal shop owner. So he owns this crystal shop, and I can't even remember the guy's name, but so the guy that's on the quest, so favorite book. What is the name of the guy that's on the quest? I can't think of his name, but so he goes into this crystal shop and he's working in this crystal shop. And the owner of the crystal shop says, hey, I have a dream of going to, I'll just say Mecca, right? He's like, I have this dream of going to Mecca. I want to go to this place. So they work really hard and they save all this money. The business is thriving. And then the guy, the alchemist, the guy that's becoming an alchemist, he says, okay, let's go. We have the money that we need. Let's go. And he says, you know that I'm not going, just like I know that you're not staying here. Because he was more in love with the idea of going rather than actually going. So you know you want to go. Oh, thank you, Santiago. Yes, Santiago. Yes, Santiago. Yes. So he was going, and he was doing whatever he had to do to get there. But the crystal shop owner did not want to go because he was in love with the idea. Some people don't want to go where you're trying to go. So you're not really leaving them. You're allowing them to exist in the state that they want to be in. And they may not even care that you want to go. They may say, go
I'm over here. Yeah.
Go on. Yeah, I'm not going.
You're stressing for no reason.
Right. They're like, I like to be comfortable. You go out there and stretch yourself and become a butterfly. I like being a caterpillar.
How about that? Yeah, how about that chrysalis?
I like this. Nibbling on my leaves. I'm not trying to fly. Mm.
Oh my word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
So that book will be dropping when?
Right. Right. I know.
So that ebook is, I'm just,
the
yes.
ebook. Yes. Maybe I need to release it like in March or something. Self-love February or something.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that,
Sure.
because in every live, I'm very passionate people plug themselves. What
Sure.
do you have going on? How can people continue this conversation with Erica? Because as you can see, she's phenomenal.
Thank you.
Just completely worked. I got a free session with Erica just now.
Yes, listen. The struggle has been real. I have learned a lot, and that's what we do. As we learn our lessons, we share with other people, so their journey, it's not as difficult. So for me, what I have coming up on Tuesday, I'm actually doing a webinar, and it's actually called The Way In, where we are assessing where we are today. So it's the starting point so that we can begin our journey to experiencing like health and financial wellness.
Sorry.
So, hashtag sessions with Erica. I love that.
Sessions with Erica. Ooh, I like that.
Yes.
No, this is going to be a regular thing. We need sessions with Erica.
Hey.
She's coming back on.
My friends say that all the time. I remember we used to meet for lunch, and she actually had a tab for like conversations with Erica, and she would just take notes. She would take notes, seriously. But so Tuesday I am it's a free webinar, and I'm sharing ways to get unstuck so that people can move through their blockages to experience, take care of themselves, self-care, health and financial wellness. Because my company that I have is called Slim Waist Fat Pockets.
Yes.
And it's all about health and financial wellness. And self-care in the process. Like, that's very important to me, for people to achieve their goals but still live like peaceful and happy lives. It's important.
Look, Mike's like, free? Is it free? The webinar. What's the webinar?
Yes, it's free. So all you have to do, if you were to DM me your email address, I'll send you the link for the Zoom call on Tuesday, and we will be on our way.
What time on Tuesday, my love?
7:30 p.m.
7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Okay.
7:30 Eastern Standard Time.
7:30. I'm writing this down. Eastern Standard Time.
Because 2020, we are changing our lives, honey.
Yes, we are. Physically, mentally, all of the above.
Spiritually.
Let's just all step into our chrysalis.
Yes, let's step in there. We may be just uncomfortable, but we're getting in there, and we're going to come out better than we went in.
Yeah. I know, right? Count me. I'm going to be there.
Count me in. Yes, self-made, lovable Kiki.
If you haven't already, like I said before, please go ahead and up on the upper left-hand corner, you can tap it, and you'll be able to see both profiles, both Erica's profile and my profile. Do me a solid and hit follow on Erica's profile.
Thank you, yes.
Just a little tap.
Yes, come on over.
Little tap. How hard was that?
Little tap, yes.
Erica.
Yes.
Huge thank you for coming on tonight.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Huge thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And we look forward, everyone here looks forward to having you on again, especially when you're, I know you weren't working on your project. I don't want to put your project out there until you're ready to put your project out there.
Sure.
But when you're ready to talk more about your project.
Yes.
I want to talk about your project.
Let's talk about it.
You like
my
code?
I will definitely let you know. Yes. I just look forward to hearing the testimonials, because I've worked with people one-on-one, and their stories have absolutely warmed my heart. I think one of my friends was on today who experienced some health issues, and just working together. Now he's so healthy, and it just makes me so happy to see people win. It absolutely makes me so happy. So yeah, I can't wait.
And for a lot of people who don't get it, at least I didn't get it for the longest time, that when your mind and body is right together, Lord,
Mm-hmm.
things you can accomplish. The
Yes.
things you can accomplish.
Yes.
Like, whoo.
Hey,
I don't know how to articulate that. Just like
yeah.
the things that you can accomplish. So all of these lofty, energy intensive projects and goals and aspirations we have for ourselves for 2020, which you will achieve,
Yes.
the effort that's required to achieve them could be much less if your mind and body are right. If your health is good, if your mind and finances are good, it will help you move forward. So sign up for her webinar, which is please. Tuesday at 7:30. So for people to sign up for your webinar, what do they have to do again?
They only need to DM me their email address, and I will send them a link to the call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. That's it.
Yes.
So once again,
hey,
DM Erica. Hello. Hi, everyone.
Yes, Sonya's here. Kiss, kiss. Oh my, yes. Oh my, I love Sonya. Like, I worked out with her for 30 minutes. Oh my gosh, gave me life. Yes.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you for bearing with us with the technical difficulties that happened tonight. I'd like to thank Instagram for being respectful for once, even though it cut us off.
Thank you, IG.
Thank you, IG. Facebook people.
Yes. So.
And with that, guys, go ahead, make sure to hit the follow button. And moving forward, once we figure this all out, all these wonderful conversations will be happening on YouTube. So if you want the link, just hit the link in my bio. If you want to be notified as to when we have these conversations, go ahead and text YouTube to 31996. Text the word YouTube to 31996. What that allows us to do is go ahead and give you a text notification with the link. So when we go live, I just say, hey, we're live over here. And you don't have to remember. Because I know you guys don't want to miss out on these awesome conversations. I know for sure you do not want to miss out on another conversation, another session with Erica.
Hashtag session. I love that.
Sessions with Erica.
Hashtag sessions with Erica.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Here's to a great week.
I know. Besos.
Bye. Besos.
Ciao.
Hasta luego.